What's up, everybody? It's the homie Truth Teller, the Street Reporter, and today is the topic that a lot of people been asking me to discuss. It kind of went under the radar a little bit, but then again, it kind of went big scale because I seen this all in the Chicago Sun-Times. I even seen articles about this on Vlad TV. I even seen the quick article come across the WGN News about this. This story was kind of crazy because a lot of people didn't really realize what happened. So today we're going to talk about Big Law. That's like the leader of the Black Disciples. He was locked up in prison for a long time. He got released and ended up losing his life. A lot of people felt like he was trying to get control of the gangs again. And the young people didn't really like it. You got to understand, it's renegade as hell in Chicago when it comes to that gang shit. They're not really listening to no big homies. But it is a big homie for the BDs. And I guess when he came home, you know, he was working the ceasefire shit, trying to do the right thing. But the feds is alleging this guy was trying to take a stronghold of the gangs again and kind of structure it where the shorties can't do what the fuck they want to do. Everybody can hustle, sell drugs. Everything got to be controlled by him. And the police felt like maybe the young people killed him because of that. They didn't want to listen. So today's topic is going to be on Big Law. I'm going to kind of give you some background on this one because this guy wasn't a rapper. He didn't have rap shit on the internet. He kind of reminded me of King Von Dad. He didn't document his lifestyle on the internet. But unfortunately, he is linked with the drill culture somehow. So we're going to get into that. I'm going to kind of give you some background. Today, we're going to speak on Big Law. If I'm not mistaken, Big Law was older, okay? I'm not sure his age, but I'm pretty sure he was older than 30 or something. Okay, he looks a little older. I did research on him. Remember, I had to speak to people who was close to the situation. I had to read newspaper articles. I had to listen to police scanners. I had to read some of the police reports so I can give you factual shit and kind of give you my opinion on what I believe happened. You got to remember, I wasn't there. So we're not going to act like I can give you this shit 100%, but the paperwork, and it's also a close person that kind of cooperated with the police that kind of make this case really, really stand out. So we're going to talk about Big Law. This is actually Big Law right here, okay? The police says that he's the leader of the Black Disciples, okay? This is his son, Lil Law. His son is actually locked up right now for 15 years. He's actually the chief enforcer of the BD faction from Lamron. Actually, I believe from like 59th to 67th. He run that whole area. He's locked up right now. He's actually runs the area where Chief Keef and Lil Durk became famous from. Chief Keef actually screamed out a lot of times in the songs about Lamron, normal spelled backwards. Lil Durk actually shouted out Lil Law name in songs. So that's why I say he's kind of connected to the drill culture. But we're going to go Big Law. His son, Lil Law, is serving 15 years in prison. When Lil Law was locked up, when Big Law was locked up, I had to see what he was locked up for because I figured that'd help me get an understanding. Remember, when David Barksdale, the undisputed king of the Black Disciples, got locked up and something happened, they had to go to other leaders. It was a leader by the name of Jerome Freeman. He was the leader of the Black Disciples. He has, I believe, a cousin named Gregory Freeman. Big Law was locked up for killing him. Okay, so Big Law killed Gregory Freeman, which is a relative of the Black Disciples leader. He ended up dying too. A little more background on this whole thing is I noticed that Big Law was working for Ceasefire. That's like a group of ex-cons who try to stop gang conflicts and shit like that. But the police is actually saying that this was a cap, that he was really trying to gain a stronghold on the gangs again, stronghold on the BDs. He wanted to control it and kind of structure it. That's what the police is claiming. I found that kind of crazy. I didn't really understand what was going on with that. So I believe that the police was watching this guy because he's been out of jail for a little bit. He was playing it right, but eventually they say he tried to grab a stronghold on the gangs. behind the scenes. So this was all I really could work on the background, because like I told you, he was locked up for a long time and he's a little older. He doesn't have rap songs on the internet, so I couldn't find anything about him to kind of give you this story. So I had to rely on the paperwork. I had to rely on the police scanners, the police report, people who I talked to, newspaper articles to try to come up with what happened. Now, what the police is claiming that happened is in 2019, they're claiming Big Law was sitting in the car, if I'm not mistaken, on 72nd and Union, in front of his home, when a car slid up and blick, 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 blick. Imagine a car coming and blinking at you in front of your crib. How the fuck do they even know where you live at? So the police is claiming that the guy was sitting in the car and he got blicked on 72nd and Union in front of his home, okay? They say that a guy named Kenneth was in the car with him. They say that Kenneth is Big Law right-hand man. He got grazed by a bullet, okay? So the police, goddamn, come up with the conclusion, okay, that he tried to gain a stronghold on the gangs, and the young gang members didn't appreciate some old ass dude trying to come around, tell them what the fuck to do, how the fuck to move, who can't hustle, who can't hustle, niggas getting violations again. These young people weren't finna honor no structure like that. They barely want to honor their mama. What the fuck make you think they finna honor a nigga on the street? So the police had put out for a long time that they believe this guy was killed by younger gang members because he tried to take over the gangs, okay? So rumors was he was killed. Rumor is he was trying to take over the gangs again, okay? He was trying to take over gangs again, okay? That's what they're claiming, okay? But kind of monkey wrench was doing the whole plans when something ended up happening. Kenneth ended up getting caught by the police in the sting. He had a whole bunch of keys, I think over 10 keys. He had over 10 keys. So when he had that, he decided to work with the feds, to work with the FBI, work with the police. He told them something very alarming. He told them that Big Law wasn't killed because he was trying to take over no gangs. He told them that that was cap. Niggas on the street respect Big Law and respect the movement and respect the young people under his movement, because a lot of those young people became superstar rappers, okay? Kenneth told the feds that Big Law was doing this ceasefire shit. And even though he was doing this ceasefire shit, he says that this was a cap. This was some bullshit. This was a cap. He said that Big Law was working with the Mexican cartel, okay? He said that Big Law was working with the Mexican cartel, okay? He said that the Mexican cartel sent a shipment of drugs and guns, and Big Law was going to oversee it and make sure it get moved and all kind of shit, okay? He said that somehow the drugs and guns, a portion of it came up missing, and it equaled up to like a half a M, okay? It says that Big Law was killed over these missing drugs and guns. That's what Kenneth, his right-hand man, who was in the car when he got glazed, said. He said that the Mexican cartel killed Big Law because he fucked up some drugs and guns that equal $500K. He said that the Mexicans gave him a chance to make it right. He said that he ended up paying the cartel $450K because he found some of the drugs and gun money and guns. He found some of it. So he ended up paying this $450K to get everything settled. So that's what he told the feds. So I say, damn, the story is told. But then again, another monkey wrench was still in the fire. Come to find out, for his work in this shit, remember, he was facing a case for having all those keys. For this shit here, he ended up getting these cases beat, okay? And then they paid him $40K for his help. The feds paid this informant, which was his friend, $40,000 for this information. Which lead me to believe that, $40K, the man could have lied and they paid him, but then again, for the feds, not the Chicago police, for the FBI to give you $40K, they must really believe that you're telling the truth. You know, they got all kind of resources to find out. I believe that the feds believe this is true, that he was killed over this $450K. I'm not sure exactly what's going on with that, but I'm not going to lie, this guy, Big Law, was very, very, very connected. He was a gang leader. He represented the community that became famous in Inglewood. So I can believe that the cartel probably would fuck with him, you know. But in my opinion, when I break down my conclusion, this is what I came up with, okay? I listened to all the information. I see how old Big Law was. I see who the fuck his son was a leader. Big Law was a leader. He had a stronghold over the GDs. You know, he was killed in front of his crib, sitting in a car. I didn't know about the Mexican cartel shit. I kind of thought that was fake. Then again, I found out the nigga who told them about the Mexican cartel got caught in a conspiracy with a lot of keys. I'm not sure if you know how much keys is, but he got caught with over 10 of them. So I can believe that he was linked with somebody who really, really had that work. And normally, street niggas don't know. When you move in a pound or an ounce, yeah, you getting the shit from some regular nigga in the corner. When you start moving keys and moving that big, big work, you would end up getting that shit from a regular Mexican who's just a regular person, but that Mexican getting that shit from somebody who know El Chapo in Mexico, one of those cartels. Ain't nobody just gonna give you 10, 20 keys and they just some regular ass individual. Trust me on this. So in my opinion, I believe. Now you gotta remember, this is only with that CI, that confidential informant, which is Lil Law, Big Law friend. This is only the information he told them. But once I looked at the board and I seen that he was caught with 10 keys, the rumors of the cartel, me personally, I don't think he was killed by young gang members. A lot of people thought he was killed by young gang members. I think this guy was real respected for nobody to try that shit in front of his crib, in my opinion. And I think he was a gang leader and nobody really knew where his crib was at. I don't think he had all those young people knowing where his house was at, me personally. If you ask me, I think it's true. I think he was killed by the cartel. I believe that guy. I believe that guy's telling the truth. Not only do I believe that guy's telling the truth, he got caught with a whole bunch of keys that I believe only the cartel would have gave him. Not only that, the guy was paid $40K by the FBI. I don't think you can just walk inside of a federal building, get caught with a case and tell them, hey, I'm finna give you some information. Dude shot dude and that's who killed him. Give me $40,000. I think they paid him for this information because it was real. I think it was maybe a $5,000 payment here. More information, they got to 10. More information, they got to 20. I think every time they verified the information, they got more and kept paying them. In my opinion, I believe Big Law was killed by the cartel. I know that sounds crazy, but I tell people this all the time. Once you start getting big money from this street shit, you fuck around be getting your drugs from a nigga who really got that shit. You know, once you getting 30 and 40 and 50 keys, you're not getting that from your average drug dealer around the corner. And if you did get it from your average drug dealer around the corner, that drug dealer is probably messing with a drug dealer who's messing with a drug dealer who's messing with a drug dealer who know Chapo. You get what I'm saying? So, in my opinion, I believe the cartel did take him out. It sound movie-ish. It sound crazy-ish because this is Chicago. But you got to remember, El Chapo, the Mexican gang leader, the Mexican cartel leader, he was took down by two twins from Chicago, Illinois, in a little village neighborhood. So that's why I'm telling you, it is connections to the cartel here. So I do believe that that young man was telling the truth, in my opinion. I don't think nobody tried Big Law. I don't think no nigga pulled that shit and tried him, especially in front of his crib. Now, maybe if he was at a restaurant, maybe if he was riding in a car driving, maybe if he was on the block, but he wasn't on his block. He was in a whole nother neighborhood from the 51st and 59th and the Normals. He was kind of far from there. I believe this guy was killed over something big, which was like drug money. You just don't kill gang leaders on some little shit. You feel me? Big time gang leaders just don't get killed over some little shit. This guy was killed over something that was real big, if you ask me. I appreciate the love. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's the homie Truth Teller, the Street Reporter. Remember, I don't need no donations. Keep them to yourself. It's kind of hot today. It's a little chill, but it's kind of hot today. So you might want to probably barbecue or something like that. Or you might want to get some toys for the kids and let them enjoy themselves. You ain't got time to be PayPaling and Cash Apping me no motherfucker money. You feel me? It's hard out here. But if you want to support me, I'm finna show you what you can do. Take your finger, put it in the air like this, hit the like button. When you do that, it make my videos grow and a lot of people be able to see them. I appreciate the love. It's the homie Truth. Bleh, bleh, bleh.